You're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hi, I'm Francine.
And I'm Carrie.
We're two best friends who can't stop talking, usually about Disney stuff.
Sometimes we have fascinating guests, and sometimes it's just us. But it's always positive and fun.
We're happy to have you join our chat. Thanks for listening, and let's get started. Hi, Carrie.
Hello, Fran. Welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm home. I'm back in the cold. Holy moly, it's cold in Toronto.
I know. And all the people are in Florida are complaining how cold it is there, but it's cold here.
Let me tell you what,
cold.
It was a little cold. How have you been? How's the last couple weeks been?
It's been okay. Just regular work.
Work, and more work? That's how you start 2025? Work, and more work.
Yeah.
You're a busy gal.
To be like you're not supposed to like do things on like New Year's Day, like, because that tells you what you're going to do, what your year's going to be
your
like.
Whole
like
year?
Like my mom always said, that you don't ever do laundry on New Year's Day. So like you always got to do your laundry beforehand because you can't do it on New Year's Day.
Right.
Something along that
I've
line.
heard that you can't because then you're washing away all the good luck.
Yeah.
And my mom was a big believer that whatever your house and your life look like at midnight when the new year comes in. So if your house was a mess, you'd have a dirty house the whole year. Yeah. You know what? I clean my house every New Year's. Like I always have it clean before New Year's because I'm terrified, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I love it.
I'm always worried like I'm just gonna have a messy house the whole year, so I clean it, but it doesn't work because then it's still a mess through the year. Like
that's awesome. Yeah, true.
Yeah. So
yeah, nothing too exciting on my end. Like I didn't go to Florida or anything. I just
I
worked.
know you could have come with me. You could have come with me.
Yeah, I worked.
I did offer.
I played with the cats, brushed the cats. I still haven't put my Christmas decorations away. You know.
Yeah, I hear you.
The usual stuff. Shenanigans.
Yeah. Yep. January's a hard month. Like it's really a hard month. Although I do feel a bit better because the days are getting a little bit longer. Like we're talking minutes.
I
know we're talking minutes. However, I think yesterday I was at my desk and it was like 4:57 and there was still light out. And I was like, oh, right. Because before I left for my trip, when I was in the office and I was driving home, like 5:00, it was dark. So that's how I kind of, reconcile it. 5:00 driving home from the office is dark. So yesterday I was like, ooh, there's still a little bit of daylight. So that's exciting.
And when in January, when it starts to get cold, right?
Yeah.
It's really, let's be real. We don't really have winter in November and December. Like at least when it's cold, we have the sun. So it's nice that the sun's out. So yeah. And I guess, because November and December, we don't even see the sun usually. Like it just might pop out here or there.
Yeah.
Cold equals clear skies and then sunshine. So at least you have some sun, a little bit of sunshine in your life.
Yeah.
Instead of dark clouds.
The sun is nice. Clouds. The sun is nice, even though it is chilly willy. Very chilly willy.
And like
we haven't got much snow.
It was warm. It was warm like it was almost spring like within the last 7 days, and then 2 days later it's like -10 or something like that.
Right.
So, but anyways, it's sunny now.
It's been
So you can tell us about your trip?
Yeah. So I left on New Year's Day, Carrie, which was like it's different to travel. I was worried about traveling on the holiday, but it wasn't busy. So I guess everybody kind of goes where they need to go on New Year's Eve, like they've already gone, or they're not coming home then. So New Year's Day was pretty clear at the airport. I don't worry about getting through at the airport. My concern is always, am I going to have enough time to get to the airport in Toronto traffic, right? Like one accident on the highway and you could be derailed for 2 hours. But yeah, it was pretty clear sailing. Because I flew Porter at your recommendation. I flew Porter, so I flew into the new so I had an exit row seat, which was nice. So I had lots of legroom. Fun fact, you know how I am about my carry-on. I always put it underneath the seat in front of me. Did you know when you're in an exit row, you can't put it underneath the seat in front of you?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you got to put it upstairs.
Yeah. Which is,
above.
I didn't know that because I got on, I put it under, and she's like, no, 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 that can't go there. And I'm like, why not? She's like, it's a tripping hazard,
Mhm.
but it's under the seat anyway. So I had to put it up. So I had lots of room, like tons of room, which was nice. The girl next to me though on the plane was kind of sick, so I had just getting over, and she was kind of sick. So I think it might have extended me a little while. She was hacking all over me. Um, but I landed in the new terminal again. So that's my second time in the new terminal, which was fun. It's just a bit different because I didn't like, you don't know where you're going. You forget how used to you get to the one, and then like
Mhm.
I was like, I don't know where I'm going. Like I have to actually read the signs and pay attention. Um, so that was, yeah. So I did have some issues on the way down that like our plane sat on the run, like on the runway for a while they were waiting for like a gate to open up for us. And then it took like another, the luggage was not good. Like the
Mhm.
luggage thing, it took another probably 30 or 40 minutes once I was there to get my luggage. Um, but whatever. Then I was looking at like Uber and Lyft, and it was like 60 or $70. I guess New Year's Day, lots of people going places. So I thought, meh, I'm by myself. That's kind of crazy, right? Like they were coming in pretty expensive. So I thought, I'm going to go check out where the Mears is in the new terminal. Have you done it from the new terminal?
No, I haven't. I think I've gotten dropped off, but I haven't taken it from.
So it's actually, it's really lovely. So you just go down the stairs and they have like this counter there. And I met that, you know me, I talk to everybody. So I met the two loveliest ladies working at the counter. There was nobody else there, like not a soul, nobody else waiting for Amir's bus but me. And I chatted with them for a little while. They were absolutely lovely. They were explaining to me like how it works, hotels they go. I mean, I know all this stuff, but they were excited to share information. Um, and we chatted away for I don't know how long. And then I just went around, I was taking pictures. They let me take a selfie with them. And we took, we were chatting away. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to go sit over here. So what I didn't realize is if they actually don't have a bus for you within a certain number, like amount of time, they call you a taxi. So I was sitting there for probably, I want to say another 30 minutes after I was talking to them. And you know me, I'm like, I don't care what, I'm on vacation. And then the lady came up to me and she's like, we've called you a cab. I said, what do you mean you call me a cab? She says, we don't actually have a bus that's coming in that would go to your resort. So we've called you a taxi. So for
Wow.
my $16 or whatever I paid for my Mears bus, I had a private taxi.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but so the way that it works then, so are they getting a bus that's coming from the other terminal to come over to pick you up?
I don't know. So she didn't explain that part to me because she said like they had buses that were out already at resorts. And the ones that were coming out of the lot were going to the other terminal. So I'm assuming that they're single buses that come from this terminal, and that's why it was going to take
So, and
like
there's nobody there.
yeah.
So,
So she basically said it was probably going to be like over an hour before they had a bus for me.
oh
So
dear.
yeah, so they called me a taxi, which was
A little
abs
concern. It's sort of concerning a little bit, but I guess if they remedy it,
yeah, like and
maybe.
I didn't even ask. Like I was just sitting there on my phone taking pictures, whatever, and then she just came up and said, "We've called you a taxi." So that was great. Um, yeah, so I got to my resort. I was staying at Bay Lake Tower. As you know, I didn't check like anything with my annual pass, so I couldn't go to a park for the first 2 days because it was blocked out on my annual pass. Because when we bought our annual passes, I remember saying to you, like, it doesn't matter the blockout dates because I never want to be there on those dates anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, you don't
Surprise.
surprise. And there I was. But Carrie, when they talk about these crowds, you know how I said to you, I really want to be there once for New Year's Eve and try it? I'm not sure
You
I
take it
do.
back?
I think so. Carrie, the crowds are kind of insane. Like,
Yeah.
like I knew it would be busy, but I don't think I've ever experienced anything quite like it. So the first day, when I got there, like it was late by the time I got there, whatever. I don't even think I did anything that day. The next day I went to Disney Springs and Like it was incredibly busy. Like, you know how busy it was when we were walking through the west side when the drone show was going on and it was like shoulder to shoulder people?
Mm,
That was Disney Springs.
the whole place,
The whole
probably.
place. The whole place. Like I've never seen like the cookie line was like way wrapped around the next building. Like the bathroom line, you know those bathrooms next to the World of Disney?
Mhm.
The women were like down the street lined up to get,
Wow.
thank goodness. So that's the thing too, though. Like for people like us, we know where the other bathrooms are. But imagine if this is like your first visit or something and you don't know that there's another bathroom that's not far. Um, yeah, it was so I know how I remember how busy it is because I brought my pictures up because I was sending pictures to my sister because she was like, "How busy is it?" blah blah blah. And I sent her a picture of the line for the bathroom. I'm like, "It's this busy."
Wow.
Yeah. It was
And that's new. That was on the second.
that was on the second. Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty packed. And Carrie, the bus when I went on the bus from Bay Lake Tower, it was like noon. So it wasn't like first thing in the morning or whatever. I got on that bus and I was by myself, thank goodness. I was standing on the yellow line.
Hmm.
Not one more person could have got on that bus or we would have been over the
Wow.
yellow line. So it was shoulder to shoulder on the bus. And I thought, okay, I don't know how I feel about this. When I left Disney Springs that day, I was too lazy to walk to the other end to order an Uber. So I thought, fine, I'll do the bus. I had to wait for two buses. So I didn't get on the first one. I got on the second one and it was packed. Like everywhere I went was packed. Like the monorails, packed. Like it was just, yeah. It,
Like, what are you doing at Disney Springs on the second when it's crazy busy like that? Like,
everybody
you're
was in
gonna
every
be,
shop. Every shop was like wall to wall people.
wow.
Yeah.
Like waiting for food, like you wouldn't get you probably wouldn't get a table service or walk up if you didn't have one, and then you'd be waiting forever for quick service, probably.
Yep. So here's the thing. This is something I did not consider about going solo. You know, I love my solo trips. I'm happy. I'll do whatever I want by myself. It's all good. This is something I've never experienced is when you're by yourself and you want to eat at a quick service and it's packed. When you're there with somebody else, a lot of times you go find a table and I go get the food or vice versa. When you're by yourself, you go get the food and then you wander around for 45 minutes looking for a seat.
Oh
Right?
no.
Because where are you going to sit? You don't have a table and there's literally no tables. Carrie, even like in the Magic Kingdom, it was freezing one day and the only place to sit at Cosmic Rays were those outside tables. And
Wow.
there was only a few of them empty.
So,
So I looked at eating at quick service because I was gonna, I was gonna do my burger, whatever at Disney Springs. I was like, forget that. I'm not experiencing this. So yeah, I went back and ordered Steakhouse 71 to go. And that's the crazy thing, Carrie. So get this. There were days where I would go to order food at the Contempo Cafe, and the window to order the food for Contempo was an hour away. But if I wanted to order from Steakhouse 71, it was right now.
oh darn.
So there were a couple times where I was like, well, I'm just going to order from Steakhouse 71 because I can get my food now. Yeah,
Wow.
it was so, it was very, very, very bizarre. It was very bizarre. Yeah.
That's interesting. Like I find when I'm at Walt Disney World, like maybe because the times of year or whatever we're doing, like I don't always seem to find that where the window is really, really, really far away. At Disneyland is a different story. I've seen it at Disneyland where I'm like, oh, let's eat, and then you're like, oh, we can't get a window for like 3 hours if we want a mobile
Yeah.
order. But I don't usually have that experience at Disney World.
Oh, yeah. And it was like everywhere. Pinocchio's, only outdoor seating. Like it was, Carrie, it was insane. It was so insane. Like the one day at Magic Kingdom, I had to go get you remember where the French fry cart used to be, like the old McDonald French fry cart? I can't even remember what it's called in Magic Kingdom. It's just over by
Westward
Pirates.
Hope,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
So
area.
in that area, I actually got food from there and went back and sat at Pecos Bill's because that was the only place I could find a seat. And let me tell you, the food was actually very yummy. I
What did you get?
It was oh, now of course I don't have that picture because now I'm talking out of turn. Um
Oh,
I'm out of sorts here, but I'll tell you about it. It had sweet potatoes. It was very good. It was very spicy. It cleared my sinuses.
okay. Let's go back then. Dial it back to
Okay.
where we're.
So I got to tell you about when I checked into my resort, they had this thing on the oh, and I should have brought it so I could show you, but I'll send you a picture. Um they had this, you know how the resorts all have like different activities that are part of like at the resorts that you can do, like the tie-dye
Mhm.
t-shirts and stuff like that. Guess what they have at the Contemporary? Build your own mosaic.
That's awesome. I'd love to do that.
You know what? The whole time I was doing it, I was thinking about you. I was like, Carrie would love this. And the next time we're back together, we're doing it together because I screwed mine up. So I'd like a new one. But it was so much, Carrie was so much fun. So I saw it and I thought, oh, Carrie would love this. I gotta try it. So it's basically you pay, I think it was $25, and of course there were like kids and families or whatever, but it was whatever. So I was at a table with two little kids, two little boys, and this their family was at the other table. So the two boys, me and this lady next to me who she has her own, like she does YouTubes and stuff like that. She was very lovely. So the four of us are at the table and they're explaining it. But you know I'm not very arts and craftsy. So I didn't quite understand the concept of how it was all going to work. I wish I'd kind of known the process when I started because I might have done things different. So you get to pick what you want to make, the mosaic. So do you want to do a monorail? Of course, I chose the five-legged goat. So I'm going to make my own five-legged goat mosaic. So they give you like this piece of like laminated paper with the goat on it, and then you're supposed to go find like the mosaic, the tiles, like the sparkly little tiles, and they're all different shapes and colors, and then you lay them out on this paper on top of the goat, like how you want it to look. But they didn't really explain to me, like, am I supposed to fill all of it in? Like, are they supposed to be side by side? Am I supposed to leave space? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? So anyway, I spend like a good half hour laying it all out, whatever. And then they come and they give me like this cardboard goat. And then they said, okay, here's the glue. And then you take the things off the paper one and you put it on this. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't I just put it on this thing in the first place? I just spent half an hour trying to line it up on the paper. Whatever. So fine. Of course, when you're transferring it from the paper to the thing, it doesn't go the same way. Like they're not exactly the same size. So you're rejiggling all of your little bits anyway.
We're being jiggly.
So I had glue everywhere, like my hands. Oh my gosh, it was such a mess. But they didn't explain to me that you probably should leave some space between the little mosaic tiles and the actual card, like the cardboard thingy that you're pasting it to. So I didn't realize, and then I glued it, and then I couldn't move it or whatever. So you can see that it has five legs, and and you can see that it has horns.
Tell it to go.
You can sort of tell it's a goat, but like part of the holes where the horns, like because I filled them in because I thought I was supposed to cover all the thing. And
Oh.
so you glue them on, and then they give you like this shellac stuff where you brush it over the top to fill in the cracks.
Mm.
But I didn't leave many cracks. So then I had this white stuff everywhere, and then it's kind of hanging off the end of my goat, and my goat's legs are a little bigger than they need to be. So his leg has like extra parts sticking out, and
Oh my goodness.
but then so you do that, and then it dries, and then you have to like buff it. And then you
Wow.
take it back to your room, and then they say the next morning you have to like wipe it down and try and get like all that extra stuff off it, and I don't know. I'll send you a picture. It's not horrible, but I would definitely do it differently if I knew what I know now. So my lesson learned is ask the whole process before you start.
Yeah.
Um, because the kids in front of me, theirs look much better than mine. They were doing they were doing monorails,
They, pro- they
but
probably did it all before.
they didn't overthink it. Like they just like put it on. They were bored. They were like, okay, I'm done. Like, yeah, they were, yeah. And theirs ended up looking so much better. Like,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But you know what? It was fun. I got to meet this lovely lady next to me. We had a good chit chat. She does all sorts of things. So she'd done it before. So I wish she'd told me while we were sitting there. Um, she had done a different one. But yeah, they do them at the different resorts. It's a lot of fun.
I like the sounds of that.
I think you'd love it. That's why I was thinking about you the whole time. And I was like, Carrie would be so proud of me. I'm trying this little arts and craftsy thing. And
That's very cool.
you know where it was? In the room. You know, when you go to the pool at the Contemporary and they have like the old Sammy Duval water sports used to be
Hmm.
there, and they have like the four little buildings. It's in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you don't have to be staying there to do it. Like the girl next to me wasn't staying there. She just drove in and signed up for it. I was tempted to go back on the following Monday. So I did that on the Friday and they do it on Friday and Monday. I was tempted to go on the Monday and redo. But I thought that's crazy. Like I'll wait until I'm there with Carrie and we'll do it together.
That's awesome.
And then she can help me. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
that should be my thing to do. I'll go find all these crafts that you can do at all the hotels
Carrie.
and
Yeah.
and do them.
It's kind of fun. Because you've done the t-shirt one before, haven't you?
No, I didn't do that one.
Who do I know? I know someone that's done the t-shirt one. And they say that's a lot of fun. Like you do it, it's like a tie-dye t-shirt and they help you make it or whatever.
No,
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever done any of them. I know I've seen them. They've all like the VVC resorts have always had them, I think, right?
Right.
So I've seen them over the years, but I don't think I've ever like I think now they're different. Like they used to have
Yeah.
them maybe more
They're fun
simplified
though.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. I would do it again. Like I would absolutely check out like other events or other arts and crafts things at the hotels because I think it's kind of fun. And now I have my own personalized five-legged goat for my house. Kind of looks a little weird, but
I've like it's something or other.
something.
So
You can see one
he's
of the
got
horns.
5 legs.
The other horn is a little bit filled in. Like there, you can't really, it just looks like a big thing on his head, but it's,
That's awesome.
yeah. So I'll put it up in my house. So yeah, that was my Friday. And I went into Magic Kingdom after. Yeah. I Carrie, why the tree? So I know that they have the Run Disney, blah blah blah. But why does the Run Disney have to have like a Christmas theme in January? That tree, because I thought for sure years ago maybe it was. Now maybe because of the Run Disney they don't. But they used to basically take the tree down right after New Year.
Yeah, like I think it would probably be all gone by like the fifth or the sixth. Because I used to
Yeah,
go in my early Disney days. I would go right after Christmas, and I would try to go close enough to New Year's that I would have a couple days of the Christmas and then they would be gone. Like
you're
I
right.
always wanted to go to get Christmas,
You
but I knew
wanted
that I'd have,
Christmas. Yeah,
yeah, like I wanted to be able to see the trees and see the decorations. And I knew that if I planned it early enough, I would have like a couple days to do it before it was all gone. So you were there way
until the
beyond the
ninth.
sixth and it was still all up.
Yeah. In fact, the morning I was leaving, I could still see the Christmas tree from Bay Lake Tower. It was still up on the ninth.
Hmm.
So every day I would go to Magic Kingdom and I would take a picture of my face in front of the tree. Uh, like, I'm over it. Why is this thing? It's a beautiful tree, but I didn't want Christmas. I've already seen Christmas. I was ready to move on.
Yeah,
But
it's been
yeah,
up for like 2 months.
every day it was still Christmas. So yeah,
It's a little much.
it was a little much. It was a little much. But you know what, Carrie? Like I just did a whole ton of wandering. Like the lines were insane. The crowds were insane. So I did a lot of wandering around. Um, in fact, the first couple days, I didn't even stay for fireworks. I was like, I'm out of here. And I would go back and just order my Steakhouse 71. I changed it up every night, usually, different salads. But I always got the bread. I always got the bread because I love the bread. Um, so yeah, I did that. Went to Hollywood Studios the next day where I saw the Kermit Magic Band. I don't know why you don't let me buy these things while I'm there for you, but
Yeah,
you got to
I don't
see
know
it.
that I don't think I love that band enough for $55.
I know.
Even with the 20% discount for $44 or whatever it
No,
would
it
have
was
been.
54. It was 54 because I took pictures. It was the lilac color or whatever. It was 54.99 for that Magic Band
Yeah, I didn't love it that if it would have been all Kermit, like all green and all Kermit, but I didn't like how it had all the other guys on there and how they
on the
were and like
band.
yeah, I didn't like the band.
Right.
So
Like
like I
the
liked
head
it,
of
but
it
it's
was
not
good with Kermit, but it was the
yeah.
band you didn't like.
Yeah, if yeah, the band deterred me from the price of it for sure. It
Yeah.
wasn't a home run. If I
It
loved it,
wasn't a
I would
home
have
run.
told you to buy it. Like, don't you know
Yeah.
me? If
I
I
know, I know. I know. But she likes to see things too, in person. So yeah.
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 Yeah, like if I saw it in person and I really liked it, I might change my mind. But like from the pictures, I was like, and then when you said 54.99, I was like, are you that's
I know.
for a band that sort of I like, and I don't even like wearing magic bands, so most likely it's gonna just be on display somewhere.
I know. I know. That's the hard part. And it like that is expensive for a Magic Band. It was a limited edition one, but it was still there at the end of the week when I went by. But it's nice to see that they've got like Muppet stuff going on. Still
I don't
that
know why
there's
they try what like why they the price point on them is so high. Like I would be
I
interested to
don't
see like
either.
how many people really buy them. Like so many people would be excited to have them for their vacation and thinking like, okay, in the US you can still order them in advance, but for Canadians, right?
Right.
We can't order them, and if we can't buy them in advance and ship them to Canada, so then it kind of leaves you to buy them when you're there. But like, there's got to be people like I know you get there and you're excited and you're willing to spend a little bit of money, but I think that's beyond. Like, it's one thing
Well,
if you were
yeah.
going by yourself or a couple and you just bought two of them, but it's got to be beyond the excitement level. Like, are you really going to spend like $200 US on magic bands for your family when you get there? Like I think if it was a lower price point,
Yeah.
then you know you can even yeah like you could say when you get there buy them because they're only you know you get all so many to choose from and it only costs us so much money.
Yeah, like
But
20, $25. But these,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
they're so
It
like they're
was a
yeah
lot.
like you think they would do something to well maybe people are still buying them, but if they're not like kind of changing it so that they're more inviting to
Yeah.
buy. Like I guess if you go all the time, then maybe you're like, oh, it's time to like I still have the original Orange Bird one. That's the only Magic Band 2 I have, or whatever that gets called.
Yeah.
So, you know, like for me, I'd be like, oh, I've had that one from the beginning. Maybe I'll buy one. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, I don't even
they're
wear
kind of
my
pricey.
the Magic Band Plus one or whatever because I hate charging it. I always forget. So I just wear my regular one.
The one I bought for my sister for before we went on our trip last year, when we had it charged all the time, and hers never did any of the lighting stuff. And it would like and it would just be like we'd be randomly like at the hotel like walking like to the back from the bus or something and it would start like oh no whatever it'd be lighting up in like the weirdest spots but like when we were watching the fireworks like
It did nothing.
my wrist was like fireworks on my wrist and my sister just would like she'd look at it and she'd be like nope but then we'd be like in a park just like walking by the skyline or going into Hollywood studios and her band is like going blue or something well all the
Oh
fireworks it
my
did
gosh.
absolutely nothing so I don't know if it was a
It's
dud if it was
hilarious.
like if it was not synced properly but then that was a magic band like that was
Yeah.
whatever a $44 magic band or whatever that didn't work. We probably should have
You probably should have
maybe
taken it
got her a new
back.
one,
Yeah.
but I bought it before. Maybe it's older. I bought it at like a
Mm.
previous trip and kind of had it for
Right.
when we got there. But anyways,
Yeah.
so I get them. I don't mind. I don't like wearing them just generally, whether they're the plus or the two or the whatever the heck they're called.
Yeah.
I don't. I just
I love
I have
them.
I know my clients. I bought I have one of those keychain ones, so I actually took a stone out of one of my old ones and I put it in one of the keychain things for the next time I go. I'm
Uh,
gonna give that a try. Keychain.
I love
Anyway,
having mine on. Like honestly, I came home, I was on a conference call and I went to scratch my head and the person I was talking to was like, "What is that on your wrist?" I'm like, "Oh, my magic band." I still have it on.
but like if
Uh,
you have your magic band and then you have like your step thingy on, like if you got a Garmin on, which or you like you have your Apple Watch on the other
I
hand,
would
like you just
yeah,
got stuff all over,
there's
but
some
you're just all wrapped up with stuff. I know.
with stuff, I know, but
Mm.
it's yeah, it's just convenient. I just love it. I just love it. Just makes me feel
Anyway,
like I'm there.
If you're a Disney fan, then you should listen to Carrie and Fran. They laugh and chat and help you make a plan. If you're going to Walt Disney World or Disneyland, and you will become a Pixie Dust fan.
What else? Okay, so yeah, it was a little chilly. But you know what I discovered I enjoyed? When I went to Hollywood Studios, I went to the Starbucks and I got a nice cup of tea. And I was gonna get the carrot cake cookie, but they only had the holiday version since it was still flipping Christmas. So I didn't want that. So I got
is it gingerbread? Like is it a gingerbread cookie?
it's
What
like
makes it a holiday
gingerbread
cookie?
and sprinkles and something else with
Mm.
the yeah. So I was like, no thanks. It didn't look appetizing. So then I got, they have those cookies, the Mickey cookies with the big chocolate chips and they're shaped like Mickey.
Hmm.
So I just got that. And I went and I found a bench right on the walkway there towards the Tower of Terror. And I sat and had my tea and ate my cookie and people watched. And it was so fabulous. The weather, because it was nice and cool and it was beautiful. I really enjoyed my day there, like doing that. It was a lot of fun. Um, but again, like I took pictures of lines. It was like Carrie, Tower of Terror line was halfway down the street.
Wow.
Like yeah, it was kind of insane. And the rock and roller coaster, oh my gosh, like it was just a sea of people lined up out front. Yeah. Yeah. So needless to say, my time doing attractions, like I did very little. Like I think in Hollywood Studios, the only thing I did, well, I finally got to see the Mandalorian and Grogu. I've never seen him like actually out roaming, so that was kind of fun. But I think the only thing I did, of course, was Muppet Vision 3D.
Well, that's good. And then you're done. You just could have left the
I
park and
did.
been like, I'll see you next time.
I actually, it worked out perfectly. I was walking by and it was like 3 minutes to showtime. So I walked in and Carrie, it was packed. Like the theater was packed.
Yeah, because no
Lots,
ever because there's 5,000 minute lines everywhere else. That's
yeah,
why.
lots of people wanting to see the Muppets. Um, so yeah, I spent some time there and then I thought, oh, let me go over to Epcot. So I jumped on the Skyliner, but because it's busy, you don't get a Skyliner car to yourself.
Mm.
So there were three other families, I think, in the Skyliner with me, and it stopped about every 2 minutes. And we were dangling, and the one of the poor men that was in the cabin with me is not necessarily good with heights, and it
Mm.
was a little bit windy, and we were swaying in the wind over the highway, and he was having a little bit of a panic attack.
Oh dear.
But yeah, it was a little bit of an extra long journey.
I
And
bet.
even when I got to Caribbean Beach to switch to the other line, um there was a huge lineup like to get on the Skyline. And this was like midday to get on the Skyliner to go to Epcot, but you know, I don't find the crowds as overwhelming when I'm solo because I don't have to worry where anyone else is. Like, when you're there with four or five people and then you're like, oh, did we lose so and so or whatever? And you're always looking behind you. At least when you're by yourself, you don't have to. You don't have to worry about that. But yeah, like that was another Contempo Steakhouse 71 night. Like,
Mm.
because there were no seats at the Contempo Cafe. Not a
Wow.
one. Not a one. I did get to go to the Outer Rim and because I met up with a friend and her family. So I did get to go to the Outer Rim once. Um we just happened to it was like good timing and we happened to get a seat. Um But yeah, like the only things I did my entire trip was the Muppets. I did the Carousel of Progress. Loved the new seats, the updated seats. The nice job. I did that. What else did I do? I'll tell you what I did. Carrie, have you ever done Enchanted Tales with Belle?
No.
I hadn't either. Oh, I did the Tiki Room too. Um, I thought, let me go line up for this. So first things first, you need to know the park is jammed, but there's nobody in line for Enchanted Tales with Belle. And there's a minimum number of people required before they'll start the show. So we're waiting and there's like 6 of us. And this lady's like, can you go out there and find some friends? I'm like, I don't have any friends. I'm here by myself. She's like, you got nobody to bring? I'm like, no. Apparently they need something like 27 people or something like that minimum before they'll start the show.
Wow.
Which makes sense to me once you've seen the show because of the engagement you need to do. It doesn't make sense. The show wouldn't make sense if you didn't have all those people. But Carrie, let me tell you, that show to me encompassed, and I'm not going to spoil the show, it was everything that Disney magic is. I cried. I'm why are you laughing at me? I cried.
It just took you 10 years to go to experience it.
It did. I seriously, at the end of the show, when those kids meet Belle, their faces and their experience, like, I don't have any kids. Here am I. And because I was like one of the last ones in the room, me and this other dude had to sit up front. Like we were in the front row. So I had a great view, but I was like right in the middle of the show. But I like Carrie, I had such a lump in my throat watching these kids experience this show. It was like everything you could imagine, like the emotions that a kid feels being part of a Disney magic, like a magical moment, like them dancing with Belle or acting out scenes or do it. Like it was just, it tugged on my heartstrings so much that I almost went back in line to watch another show with new kids because I was just so overwhelmed with how much joy it brought to those kids. They were just so happy. It was just, so yes, it's absolutely something that you should watch next time you go. And then you can let me know if you cry.
I'll go with you. I'm not going in there. I have a friend that when she went with her son, like that's her most favorite. Like they've been a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've been twice or 3 times now, but that first trip, that experience in there was the most like one of her favorite memories she had, like with her child to that point.
I totally get it.
The thing that like he was dancing with Belle and whatever, like yeah, totally. And I kind of thought that was cool, but I guess I never really understood it completely but yeah, one of her most favorite memories of her Disney trips.
I totally get it. Like when they engage the kids, it's just magical. It really is. It's like it just like I have goosebumps even just thinking about it. Like it really is just so beautiful.
That makes sense.
And I can't imagine how much extra it feels when it's your kid. Or when it's, your family that's participating in. Like, here am I crying. I don't even know these kids. And, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But yeah, I can't even imagine if it's your own. Like, just amazing.
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of tears in that room then.
Oh,
probably.
Yeah.
For the parents watching.
So I did that. Here's my picture. So at that cart, it was called Hot Honey Chicken with Sweet Potato Fries. And it's basically chicken nuggets tossed in a hot sauce honey, served with New Orleans olive relish and Cajun spice sweet potato fries. Carrie, it was absolutely delicious. Like, definitely cleared my sinuses. So I was a little, it was hot. It was hot, but it was good. It was very good.
Nice.
So well worth checking that out. They do have beignets at that stand too. And I saw someone next to me getting them, and it was like they didn't look like the beignets like from French Quarter. Like they were just like small, square, fried I don't know. They didn't look as appetizing, and I thought, well, I can't eat 4 beignets, so I'm not ordering them. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because when I posted, I had quite a few people tell me they bought them and they didn't. They were like, yeah, if you've had the ones at French Quarter, this is not
Mm,
yeah,
not up to snuff.
not up to snuff. Not up to snuff. I did see while I was there this diffuser, Haunted Mansion diffuser, this gargoyle thing. And I hemmed and hawed, and why do I need more stuff? And then you said to me, well, you just cleared out a whole bunch of stuff, so now you have room. So yeah, of course I bought it on my last night.
Excellent.
But did I tell you about the story about the man that came in to do the painting and he saw my Haunted Mansion picture on the wall?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was like, that's really creepy, because he didn't get it. Like, you forget when you don't have Disney people, like they don't understand why you'd have a picture of a skeleton of you in your house. And then, well, as I got this thing home, and it made it home in one piece, and I'm thinking, well, that was kind of stupid. Like, this is yet another thing. Like, people are gonna be, why do you have a gargoyle in your house? But whatever. Anyway, it's a diffuser, and it'll scent my house and make it smell nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other fun stuff I did. Like, I did a lot of wandering. I ran into some people that follow me online, got to meet up with a bunch of them and say hello. It's always nice to meet other people and just chat about like people who get it. People who get it. I stayed for I had hot chocolate. I'd never had hot chocolate before there. I had it over at the Cheshire Cafe. It was actually it's like $5, which in Canadian money is like 10. But it was good. It was cold, so that's why. So I was like, I'm gonna have some hot chocolate. I stayed for fireworks. I watched them over in Fantasyland. So I like to watch them over behind the carousel. But it's hard because then you're twisting and turning because the fireworks are coming from the top of the buildings and then behind you.
They're everywhere.
But again, I actually took the time. I was watching the people around me watch them. And these are people who, like, we forget because we go so often. And I was watching other people experience Walt Disney World.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
Like, their joy. I spent a lot of time doing that, listening to people and how they were experiencing it, what their feedback was. Carrie, one night on the monorail, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. Like, this is not a plug for us, but there's a reason that travel agents exist. I got on the monorail one night and this man was standing beside me and he looks at me and he says, you've been here before? And I said, yeah, a few times. And he says, where's the park? And I was like, which park? He says, well, I don't really understand this. Like, I booked this hotel and I'm not in this building. Like, I'm in the parking lot. And I was like, oh, so you're in a garden wing room. And he's like, yeah, but I don't understand, like, where the park is. They told me to book this hotel because it was close to the park, but where is the park? And I said, well, so you're talking about the Magic Kingdom? And he says, yeah, the one with the castle. And I'm like, okay, let's get you grounded on where that is. And then he goes, but how do I get to the animal one? Where's that? And I'm like, that's not near here. He's like, but I thought there was an animal park. Like, oh my gosh, this man literally, how much money did he spend per night at the Contemporary? And he literally had no idea where the parks were, what parks there were. He knew there was a castle park and an animal park. That's all he knew.
Wow.
He had put his kid to bed that night and his wife was in the room with the kid. And he said to her, I'm going to go get on that train and see if I can figure out where the park is so we know where we're going tomorrow.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
That's what he was doing on the monorail. So my plan that night was I was just going to go, like, look at the resorts, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't. I just stayed and did the loop with him so that I could at least give him some idea of where he was going the next day. But, like, he had no idea. Like, you and I always talk about don't overplan, go and enjoy.
That's a total opposite.
But this was like the complete opposite. And I'm thinking this poor man over the holidays has probably spent like $600 a night on this room and has no idea where he's going. Yeah.
And it's so busy.
And it's so busy. It's not like it's, like it's really hustle and
We
bustle.
would have told him not to go at that time.
Right? Like, why are you here? Yeah. 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 So I did do the loop with them and gave him some tips there. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I got to go to lunch with our friends Susan and Ray.
Hmm.
Um,
Where'd you go for
and
lunch?
50s prime time. So
Oh, cool.
I've only been there once and I didn't like it because the people at the table next to me, they didn't understand the shtick. And the mother-in-law was getting very angry at the server. So it was a very uncomfortable meal. But this time it was actually really good. I enjoyed it. I had the fried chicken, of
I
course.
was just going to ask you that. Did you have the fried chicken?
Hmm. Of course. Yeah, it was really good food. The server was really funny. Um, and yeah, good company. So it definitely changes my perception of the restaurant. It's so funny how your perception of a place is completely dependent on your experience and then it's hard to change. But yeah, no, it was really good.
That's fun.
What else did I do? Oh, I did go and check out the new tower over at the Poly.
Mm.
So I did do that. I took the monorail over there. I wandered around the lobby, outside, looked inside the restaurant and inside the bar. It was cold. I sat at the bar and had a beer so I could talk to the servers and stuff, but it's beautiful. Like it's gorgeous, but it's a bit of a walk from the main building
Mm.
to walk over to the tower, but yeah, it was lovely. It was very nice. And then yeah, I ran back to get my thing. Um, and what else? Then I had to work a little. So I did have to do some work for the unmagical job. God, I took a conference call from I finally got a table at oh, what's it called? In Tomorrowland, Cosmic Rays.
Hmm.
So I have dinner. I get my dinner. I'm sitting down. I got my earplugs in. I'm listening to my conference call while I'm eating my dinner. I'm watching Sunny Eclipse. And then of course, like I'm thinking this is a call where I really just need to listen and pay attention. No, no, no. Then they're like, Francine? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta come off mute. Like, can they hear Sunny Eclipse in the background? Like
That's awesome.
it's like, ah. So that's fun. Yeah, so I did that and the tree stayed up the entire time. And then on my last night, I stayed and watched the fireworks from Main Street.
Mm.
And it's a little infuriating because you get a spot on Main Street, there's nobody in front of you, there's nobody, like you got a perfect view, and then one by one they come, they put their kids on their shoulders, fine. You adjust, you move around a little, whatever. There was an adult that put another adult on their shoulders. Like it was insane. But then there's like this part of me that I feel a little bad that I was a little bit smiling. Because there's like that lull at the end before the finale comes
Hmm.
when they start talking, and that it kind of sounds like it's over. All those people that do that leave. And there's the part of me that wants to say, no, 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 there's more. You're going to miss it. And then there's the part of me that thinks you just put your kid on top of your shoulders in front of those children that were standing in front of me so that they couldn't see any of these fireworks. And now that you've moved, now these kids that were standing in front of me are going to be able to see the finale. So I didn't say anything. So they left, and then this family in front of me who were being so patient and so nice with everybody that stood in front of them, had a beautiful view of the finale. So
That's awesome for them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of worked out. Um, and then I came home. I had my flight home was like 9 o'clock. It was the first time that I ever decided I was going to only just leave myself 2 hours at the airport because I'm like, I have Nexus, whatever, why rush? And you told me the terminal's pretty easy to navigate, blah, blah, blah. So why rush? And I called my Lyft that morning. Driver comes. Yeah, I think the driver was directionally challenged, Carrie, which is never a good thing in a driver.
Lyft driver?
So I get in the car and I get in the car and he said he didn't speak English, which is fine. I've had other drivers like that before. It's no just means I can't chit chat to them on the way. But I'm doing I was looking at Instagram and stuff, and I look up and I see Spaceship Earth. And I'm like, where are we? And I realize we're in the Epcot parking lot. Like how he ended up in the Epcot parking lot, I have no idea. But I helped sort of navigate him out of there. But yeah, he took a couple of detours that should not have been taken. So there was a little bit of anxiety of, am I going to make it to the airport on time?
Am I going to make it to the airport?
Yeah, like there was a little bit where I'm like, it's like 6:30 in the morning. My flight starts boarding in an hour and a half. Like, yeah, but in the end, I finally made it to the new terminal, and thank goodness it was at the new terminal because you drop off your bag, you walk through, and you're done. There was no shuttle, no nothing. So the new terminal was definitely a plus. And Porter Wi-Fi, Carrie, I took 2 conference calls on the way home from the sky.
It's awesome.
So awesome. Like I literally, I was on the phone the whole way home. I was so productive. It was great.
That's like, I think, yeah, it's awesome. And that flight is really short, but like really compared, but when I flew to Los Angeles on Porter, like if you even thinking about picking one over the other, like the fact that you could work you could do 3 solid, if you're up in reserve, they feed you and all that stuff, but you could do 3 hours of solid work, uninterrupted work on a flight. That flight, right? Like it's awesome.
It was amazing. And it was good Wi-Fi. Like I know on WestJet and Air Canada, you can get Wi-Fi, but not that quality. Like I was on video calls where people were sharing their screen, 47 participants, and it did not drop. It dropped once. And it was like for 3 seconds, it glitched and then it was back. Like it was insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I was incredibly productive. I really, really, really enjoyed that flight.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I find because you can stream, you don't have to worry about downloading anything. You can watch Netflix, you can watch YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer. Game changer.
I think some of the the big American lines probably already have that internet on there.
Yeah, maybe.
But for us, it's that's a big deal. A very big deal.
Like I was on a call and someone messaged me on the side and said, "Are you home already?" And I took a picture out of the window and I was like, "No, this is where I am." And they're like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah, seriously, so cool. It was pretty cool. And then of course I was starting to debate on the plane. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm wearing a hoodie." Like I get home to Toronto, it's like -20 and I got a hoodie on. It's fine because the taxis are right outside the door. So it was yeah, no big deal. But now I'm home. I'm home.
Back to reality.
Back to reality. You know how it goes. But yeah. So now I've just talked blah, 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 for how long? But that's my trip.
You got the one thing you didn't talk about. You got a new mug when you were there.
I did.
Did you not? And then you did there. We don't have to talk about it, but you did send me lots of photos of merchandise. So there seems to be a refreshment of certain things there, which was exciting for me to see to get a report back that there might be some new things to look at when we go browsing there, because when you go very often you see the same things over and over again. You don't even like to go in the stores because it's just the same stuff you saw last time, but it looks like there was a nice refreshing of some stuff, so that's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe we should talk about the merch maybe on the next episode. We could go through, they have new t-shirts. I did not buy myself a t-shirt. Because I bought the mug and the other. I spent $30 on a mug. And I am so happy I did. It's the Dapper Dan mug with the hat. And I almost bought it in November. And then I was like, that's crazy. And I regretted it the moment I got home. So then when I saw it this time, I'm like, yeah, I just got to buy it. It'll probably be at the outlet mall in 2 weeks and for half price and whatever. It happens. But I wanted the mug, so I bought it. That'll be my Sunday morning post.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good. It was very good. So now I'm home. So yes, we'll figure out our topic. Maybe we'll do merch and news on our next episode. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
We like to live on the edge, but we do have it scheduled. So we're getting better at scheduling our recording sessions.
Oh,
Yay!
too funny.
So Carrie, now
Yeah.
that we're in the new year, we got to think, what about pixie dust? What's happened? Do you got pixie dust this week? What brought you happiness and joy?
Well, my pixie dust is kind of a la Fran, I think, this week. So what I did over the last week is I went and I bought some new earbuds. I kind of stepped into the future here.
No.
And so I actually bought the
What
Galaxy
kind?
because I have a Samsung, right? Like I got Samsung tablet, Samsung phone, Samsung whatever. So I got Samsung Galaxy Buds, which I believe would be the equivalent of your like Apple iPod, Apple Pods, Apple, what do you guys call them? Earbuds, what do you guys?
Yeah, ear pods or whatever I
Ear
think we
pods,
call them.
whatever the heck they're
Yeah.
called. So I got the Galaxy Buds. So it's my old ones I got like probably like at the start of COVID or before, like, and they didn't last very long. They weren't very good. I couldn't get them to sync to my laptop. It was a bit of a disaster, but I kept using them. And then I always use like the stringed ones, right? But like the new phones are all Bluetooth, so then I can only use my stringed cords on my laptop. Anyway, so I decided to bust it out and buy the big guns. And
Nice.
they're pretty cool. Like it's like
What do they
wherever you
look
are,
like? Like, are they?
they're just
They
little
might
buds.
they might be good for recording too. Oh,
They're just like little
nice.
buds. See? But the
Yeah.
thing is with them, like I think the charge of the buds themselves are like 12 hours or something, and or whatever. The cases and the cases got a long time too. Like just the charging and the battery capabilities is like
Right.
my old buds were like Fred Flintstone earbuds, and they were expensive ones when I bought them. Like the earbuds, my original ones, like they were like I did splurge and buy good ones. But yeah, these ones compared to those are like Fred Flintstone
Nice.
earbuds. And then, but they're seamless because they're Samsung. So it's sort of like, you know, how you're always saying, you know, all of your Apple stuff matches up.
Yes, and it
Like
just works.
when I'm on my phone and say I had my tablet, if I play music on my tablet, it automatically turns off my buds from my phone and goes to my tablet and listens to what's going on
Nice.
my tablet. Like that's
See,
pretty cool.
that's
So
the
again,
that's
maybe
the
your Apple buds have been
ecosystem.
doing maybe your Macintosh Apple, you know, Fuji Apple buds have been doing that for a long time, but my old buds didn't do that. I
Oh
said I
my
couldn't even get them to
gosh.
work on certain things. So yeah, I bought these and I bought them on like I think like right after New Year's. It was like in my brain, and I was like, I'm gonna Google them, and they were on sale. So I was like, perfect.
Nice. Just do it.
I'm getting myself
Good
some
for you.
Samsung buds. So now
Good for
I'm
you.
all connected sound wise. I can from one thing to the next.
That's
And I honestly
fantastic.
haven't tried to sync them to my laptop because I know like I struggled so much last time with my other ones to my laptop. I haven't given it a try yet
You
because I'm
should
afraid that
try,
I won't be
Gary.
able to
Like
figure it out. I
they
know.
they could
I'll
be
give it a
they
try.
could be good. I
But
on
because
it.
they last for so long too, like then before my buds were like I would only really use them when I was traveling, and like they would be good for like 2 hours or so. So like I
Right.
knew that I could watch a movie or watch so much, and then I'd plug them into like I charge them again in the case, and then I'd watch them again. Like I think these guys, I think it's like continuous. Maybe it's like 8 hours, 12 hours or something. Like I can't believe
Yeah.
that. I don't know. I haven't used them that long, but I'm pretty sure it was a really long time that they're worth. And then I think the case stays
Nice.
charged for quite a while. Um, so we'll
That's
see
good.
how it goes. So yeah,
We should test them out. You should get
I'm all
connected
teched up.
to your
I'm all teched up.
laptop. I love
And if
it.
you like touch the earbud, it pauses the music. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't do that on mine before. So yeah, again, they're probably like yours already, but I
Well,
was in the Stone Age.
I have to tell you, I took a call from Epcot. I went, you know that new area where out front where they have the trees and the tables where you can charge your phone and stuff where it's really supposed to be quote unquote
Near
quiet.
Walt. Yeah.
So it was busy. So I found a table that was a little closer to Communicore Hall. And I found a table there to take my call. And no sooner did I start my call, did they start the Encanto presentation on the
Oh,
stage.
there, yeah.
And I was like, so the person I was on the phone to, I said, I'm really sorry about the background noise. And he said, I can't hear anything other than you. Like it literally drowns out any other sounds other than your voice. So
interesting.
which was surprising because that's a loud show and I was not far from it. But yeah, he said he couldn't hear anything. So
I never even thought about that, like that situation, because often like I do bring my buds to the park in case I need to take a call. But yeah, it's like you think, well, you're never going to find a.
You should try it, Carrie.
Let's try it together. We'll call each other when it's really
call each other. We'll blast music in the background and we'll call each other.
I don't think we could wait till we're at a park. We'll find our noise ourselves. But yeah, like I bring them, but like the chances are like I'm not going to take a call unless I absolutely have to. Whereas, if you had that capability, then it would be a little bit more flexible.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
From anywhere. So,
good for you. Oh, I'm glad at you. Look at you with your technology.
Well, I'm teched up. So what about you? What's your pixie dust?
Well, my pixie dust was going to be my mug. That's why I didn't mention it on the thing. You like scooped it up there. So yeah,
sorry.
My mug. I think it's my mug
because I just talk about the shirts at all. I thought that maybe you just kind of skipped it. I kind of expected you to talk about all the other merch outside of your thingy. So that's why I thought maybe you just slipped your mind.
No. My mug is I was really happy and it came home in one piece too. Because I get a little nervous sometimes because our suitcase is one of the squishy ones. Like it's not hard sided. It's like, so I worry sometimes when I'm packing stuff that it's going to break, but no, it came home in one piece. So I'm very excited.
Sometimes you just see something and you want it. And I'm glad it was still there. Like that you had you talked yourself out of it, but it was still there for you to buy. Like you joke, it'll be at the outlet, but there's also a good chance when you go back, you can't find what you really, really wanted. That's usually how it works.
That's how it works. If I don't buy it and I think, it's going to be at the outlet, then I go to the outlet. It's not there. If I buy it, it'll go to the outlet. It's just the way the world works. It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, I'm very excited with my mug and my diffuser. So yeah. Well, this was fun. It was a good trip report. I think full of details, lots of crowds, maybe not my favorite time of year to go.
And it was crowded the whole time. Like you were still found the crowds were crazy. Like
probably
even towards the end.
Last day, my last day in the park, it wasn't as bad. It was still bad, but it wasn't as bad. But they were all coming in for the Run Disney on the weekend. So it really just didn't let up. It was better, but not good. Yeah. So not again. I don't think. Or else I would just go and just do like resort hopping. You know me. Yeah, I say that. Whatever. But yeah, so that was cool. Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening. And if you made it this far, if you want to leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast player, we would absolutely appreciate it. And until next time, thanks again.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode.
Make sure you're following us on your favorite podcast player so you'll get a new episode every week. And find us on social media too. We'd love to hear from you.
Till next time, remember, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.